Hello everyone, this is Tom. Today in this video I'm gonna show you a Gears of Dreadlands Demon Hunter GR speed build with Hungering Arrow. We are going to look at the gear, skills and rotation to maximize the efficiency of this build. I have mainly tested with low gear with 800 Paragon level in a 90 level GR. Due to small future changes, always check the video description, it will be up to date for future seasons too. Now let's see this Demon Hunter. We are gonna use the Gears of Dreadlands set. The 2-piece bonus gives you a 4-second buff called Momentum as you attack with primary skills. This stack up to a maximum duration of 20 seconds, which means this equivalence of 5 primary skill attacks. So we are gonna use Hungering Arrow to get this buff. Okay, you need to stack and constantly keep up this momentum buff as close to its maximum value as possible, because it also scales the damage of your primary skills. At 20 stacks, it provides 200% damage bonus, 10% per stack. Thanks to the 4-piece bonus, your last used primary skill will be shot automatically from your strafe channeling, and this set bonus also provides a 60% damage reduction while strafing and for 5 seconds after. With the 4-piece bonus, Momentum stacks also scales your movement speed while you're strafing. This means at max stacks, which is 20, it is a 160% movement speed bonus, 8% per stack. The 6-piece bonus is a simple 10,000% damage boost to your primary skills, so the main damage dealer is Hungering Arrow. Firstly, check those items which guarantee more damage multiplier to this skill. In Cube's weapon slot, use the 9th series satchel Quiver. Thanks to the unique affix, Hungering Arrow always pierces and deals up to 600% additional damage. If we use this Quiver in Cube, we can use 2 crossbow with extra crit damage, and of course the Quiver damage multiplier will be at maximum level in Cube. But unfortunately, we lose the possible extra Hungering Arrow damage stat in our offhand. The next item with damage multiplier is also used in the cube. This is Depth Diggers in the armor slot. Thanks to the unique affix, the primary skills that generate resource deal up to 100% additional damage. It should be noted that the damage is increased even if the player is at maximum resource already. In belt slot, for higher damage output, use Hunter's Wrath. It provides up to 200% damage multiplier to primary skills, and these skills attack 30% faster. The perfect stats would be the following: Dex, White, Ores or Armor, and extra Hungering Arrow damage. The next item is the Skirt Necklace Amulet. Thanks to the unique affix, while not taking damage, character gain a stacking buff that increases damage done up to 100%, 10% per stack. However, damage taken also increases up to 50%, 5% per stack. Important, you have to maintain its stacks, but taking damage resets the stack count to null. A Fortress Ballista shield helps to avoid losing these stacks. In ring slot we should use Focus and Restraint. Thanks to the Bastions of Will set bonus, research generating or primary skills like Hungering Arrow grants 50% increased damage for 5 seconds. And research spenders like Strafe grants 50% increased damage for 5 seconds. The two buffs giving a total of 125% increased damage. The perfect stats would be the following: crit chance, crit damage, area damage and socket. In socket we will take Simplicity Strength for increased damage of our primary skills. And attacks with primary skills also provides a 4% of maximum health heal for us. In another socket, we will take Bane of the Trapped for more damage and CC. In our main hand, we are going with Down Crossbow. It doesn't provide any damage modifier, but its unique affix gives us a nearly permanent vengeance for 40% more damage. With sufficient cooldown reduction, about 36%, this weapon actually allows vengeance to recharge immediately after it expires. We are looking for the next stats: Dex, area damage, cooldown reduction and socket. but if you have a chance and you have a high Paragon level, you can reroll Dex to extra 10% damage. As for the offhand, Fortress Ballista. With this item, attacks grant an absorb shield for up to 3% of maximum life and stack up to 10 times. It synergizes very well with Simplicity Strength and is gonna help with maintain of skirt necklace stacks. The perfect stats would be the following: Dex, area damage, cooldown reduction, and socket. But you can reroll Dex to extra 10% damage if it's possible. Not only the Fortress Ballista, but also the Elusive Ringing Cube will increase our survivability. After casting Shadow Power, Smokescreen or Vault, it provides up to 60% reduced damage for 8 seconds. We are gonna use Smokescreen to pros this ring in this build. Instead of this ring in solo, you can use Unity 2 for damage reduction. The last legendary item in this build, the Nemesis Bracers for more elites and progress globe. We are looking for the next stats: cold damage, dex, crit chance and white or ores. And lastly, we are gonna use all 6 pieces of Gears of Dreadlands set. For the helm, dex, white, crit chance and socket is what we're looking for. In socket, use diamond for cooldown reduction. Shoulders, dex, area damage, cooldown reduction, or resist or white, the perfect stats. For the chest, dex, white, hatred region and socket what we want here. If you want more toughness, use diamonds, and if you want more damage, use emeralds here. As for the gloves, the important stats: dex, crit hit chance, critical hit damage and area damage. For the pants, we are looking for dex, white, socket and hungering arrow damage. In socket, use diamonds or emeralds. And lastly the boots, we need the followings: dex, white, ores and armor. Moving on to the skills. The primary damage dealer of this build is Hungering Arrow. We are gonna take Devouring Arrow rune and its damage type changes to cold. Every time an arrow pierces, its damage increases by 70%, stacking directly, which means this is a 140% increase at damage if the arrow pierces twice. Thanks to the Night City Satchel Quiver, the Hungering Arrow always pierces and its damage is increased. Of course, in order to trigger the 4-piece set bonus and Tejuk gem, we have to use Strafe. It should be noted that while channel, the Demon Hunter will continue to move but with reduced speed in the targeted direction. The preferred rune is Drifting Shadow, with this damage type changes to lightning and removes the movement speed penalty, allowing to move at 100% speed during strafe. The next skill is a defensive one. This is Companion with Boar Companion rune. This boar increases the Demon Hunters and allies life regeneration and ores by 20%. And another defensive skill, Smokescreen, turns the Demon Hunter invisible for 1 second. By invisible, they may not be targeted by attacks and spells. With this placement rune, it also provides plus 100% movement speed. This skill will process Elusive Ring, so you have to cast once in every 8 seconds. To maintain the Elusive Ring's damage reduction easier, use Preparation with Focused Mind rune. It provides 45 discipline over 15 seconds instead of restoring it immediately. The next is the staple skill of Demon Hunters, Vengeance. It is included not only for its baseline 40% damage increase, but also the 50% damage reduction of the Dark Heart rune. Okay, now check the passives. Call the Weak. It gives us a damage increase against slowed or chilled enemies. The Bane of the Trap gem is gonna slow our enemies. Thanks to Ambush, you deal 40% additional damage to enemies above 75% health. This is an obvious choice. Blood Vengeance will not only expand your hatred pool, but also replenishes both hatred and discipline when you're picking up health globes. So increased pickup radius is very useful in this build. With the usage of Smokescreen, the tactical advantage is an obvious choice for more movement speed. This build designed mainly for solo game, but with some modifications you can play in a group too. I would change 3 things. Use Wolf Companion to boost your DPS. In Bracers, use Wraps of Clarity for damage reduction. If another player use Nemesis. And in Cube, change Elusive Ring to Convention of Elements to more damage in Cold Cycle. And lastly, the Playstyle. This build has a simple rotation. It begins with cast Boar Companion and getting your momentum stacks to the maximum 20-second duration by simply shouting out 5 Hungering Arrow. Then activating Vengeance, which has a permanent uptime with a combination of down and CDR on Gear. Most of your time will be spent channeling Strafe and manual Hungering Arrow shots, as you will need to keep up both the Gears of Dreadlands and Bastion of Will set bonuses. Lastly, manage the usage of Smokescreen and preparation skills to maintain Elusive Ring damage reduction and increase your movement speed. But Blood Vengeance passive skill provides free discipline via picked Hull Globes, so you have to kill fast your enemies. For test purposes, I used only 800 Paragon points and mostly non-ancient items. As you can see, these items are not too good with not the best stats, so there is a possibility for higher level GR and faster progression. I want to show you a basic build which is easy to put together early in any season. I think we covered everything. You can find the DeFi Planner link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this guide. If you would like to watch more, please don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And see you in the next one. Peace.